So let us stand tall first of all. I'll just rearrange my various layers. So stand tall, feet together. Come tall as we can, pushing the soles of the feet down as we come tall. Now from this position, just do one small step to the side and make sure our weight is even left and right. So a little left-right wiggle, making sure our weight feels even and evenly distributed on both feet. From here, push down again, rising up. So we're rising up through the hips, through the lower back, through the middle back, upper back, shoulders, and the crown of the head as it draws us towards the ceiling. Keep that height in the body, and now just shrug the shoulders back and down 3 or 4 times. And on the last time, just seat them on top of the rib cage. Not ram them down, but seat them securely on top of that rib cage. Now think of the core. So the core, our cylinder of muscle running from the top of the pelvis through to the bottom of the ribs. So draw the whole of that core in. Imagine trying to make our waist smaller. Pull the tummy button in towards the spine. Suck the sides in towards the tummy button and the back in as well, both quads, so at the back here. And just hold it and suck in. Keep breathing if you can. Breathe, but keep that pressure on for 3, for 2, and for 1. And now release totally. Let's come tall and go again. We'll do this again, but keep that engagement at the end. So now bring that waist in, make it small. Squeeze in. From here, bring the pelvic floor up. So we're engaging that lower half of our abdominals. Keep breathing in and keep that core engaged. And now just release it to 20% of that. So we have engagement, but we can now move. So we can move freely, but we are engaged down the lower half of the body. Fantastic. Keep that height. Bring the feet together. And now just start to walk through. Coming up on both toes as we hold the height in the body. Keep that core engaged. Everything is active. Although we look as though we're not moving, everything is working. Come tall. Wonderful. As we do so, let's just look over one shoulder. Squeeze gently but firmly. And now look to the front. Squeeze over the other shoulder. And to the front. One more time either side, so squeezing in, just looking over that shoulder. Can we move just a little bit more? Don't push it, but just firmly squeeze. And to the front. And last time over this side. And to the front. Lovely. Now keep the feet still, just bring them to hip width apart so we have a stable base. Gentle bounces and movement, just to keep the lower half of the body moving. Hands are relaxed. Now we're going to turn our palms outwards and gently but firmly push those hands down. So it's as though we're doing a shoulder slice, but in reverse, downwards rather than upwards. You should feel a pull through your shoulders. I'm just going to move my arms to show where you should feel it down the sides of the neck and into the shoulders. Just push down. It's working our upper trapezius. To do a little bit more, to encourage a little bit of a greater stretch. Keep the arms where they are. And if you are happy to, shoulders down, move the head so the ear comes towards one shoulder. So we're stretching through. It's quite a strong stretch. Keep pushing those hands and palms down towards the floor. So stretching through. Come back up. And now we're going to do the other side. So dropping the other ear down towards the other shoulder. But keep that shoulder down. So it's very definitely ear moving, not shoulder. And hold that position for another 3 seconds. I've just got to let somebody in. There we go. Wonderful. Hold for 3 and for 2 and for 1, and shake off. Brilliant. Evening. Hi. So, little shrug of the shoulders. Okay, so just keep those feet moving. Feet are nice and loose. We are going to begin working a little bit more of the movement of the shoulder blades. So hands on shoulders, and we're working into the rotator cuffs. So coming tall, I'm just basically moving my legs just for something for them to do. Tall in the body, core engaged. Get those circles with the elbows a little bit bigger. So as we circle round, we can feel those shoulder blades moving across the back of the rib cage, and we're getting bigger. And now tap at the front and open out. Tap and open, tap and open and tap, and finally squeeze open. Fantastic. Let's go backwards now. So small circles. It doesn't matter what you do with the lower half of the body as long as it's still moving. Core is active. Make those elbow circles slightly bigger now as we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now we're tapping at the front and squeezing open again. So another 4 of these. Squeeze. Getting the maximum movement from those shoulders. 3 and 2 and 1. Here we go. Squeeze open. Lovely. So again, shrugging off, hands out the front. We're going to turn our palms so they are opposite each other. Shoulder height. Seat those shoulders down, keeping the hips pointing to the front. Bring the elbow back in. So imagine you're an archer and stretch. So other arm, we're looking at my elbow as it comes back and to the front. So basically we are rotating through that waist, following the elbow. Elbow stays close to the body. It's a very controlled move, the archer, so moving through. We're doing another 4. Squeeze. Can we squeeze that elbow up at the back just a little bit more? And 3, can we rotate through the waist a little bit more? 2, and last 1. 1. Fantastic. And drop back down just for a moment. Final move for shoulders. We're just going to bring our arms up to the sides. First one is we're just going to bring them up and drop down. So our elbows are doing all the work. The arms stay bent, cross over and squeeze into that waist. So up and down. So the final plane of motion for the shoulders, getting them loose, standing up tall. We've got another 4 and squeeze. 3. Squeeze. 2, squeeze. Our final one coming up. 1 and squeeze. Wonderful. Quick shake off. We're working down the body. We're going to begin to work through the obliques now. Hands either side of the thighs. Come up tall. Keep the body still. So from here downwards does not move. The core is engaged. We are going to walk our hands down towards our knees. As far as you can, use that waist to come back up again. And the other side. So we're not moving front or back. Simply left and right. This is all about the oblique muscles in the core, bringing us back up. But it's also about the lower back, allowing us to do this movement. In the 2 or 3 more that we're going to do, can you try to creep those fingertips just down, perhaps just a centimetre further if that works for you? And the last one. Wonderful. Feet together, we're adding on slightly through this lateral movement. We're going to grab the elbows so that we're effectively wearing our arms. We're going to come up tall, shoulders seated back down, core engaged. And now we're rocking left and right again, keeping those hips steady. So if you find you're having to really stick your hips out to the side, please try and stay a little bit more upright, but travel less in the body. We want the upper body to do that work. So we're doing another 5, and come tall between each one. 4, get that height in the body. 3, and up. 2, last one coming, and 1. Wonderful. And arms down, stretching through. Wonderful. Quick shake. Feet now slightly wider than hip width. We're going to do some wood chops. We're going to do 6 either side, that's all. So we're starting off up here. Here we go. Reach long. As we come down to the opposite diagonal, we're going to turn on the balls of the feet, keep that spine long and rotate. So it's about keeping that spine long, rotating so that we're not moving through the knees, but twisting through that body as far as we can. This is the 3rd. Oops, that's me falling over. 4. 2 more. 5. And last one, 6. Let's do 6 this diagonal. So reset, engage the core, reach long. Remember, it's all about that twisting through the waist. Come through and up. I'm not worried about a big squat. It's about the upper body still. Another 3 to go. And 2. And 1. Brilliant. And again, arms down, and we return to our starting position. Let us think now about the hips. So we're working on down. This is our support leg. We're on our toes. We're coming up tall. Hands on our hip bones, pointing to the front, so that we know our hips now are not rotating. So this is the time for our upper body to remain still. And now it's the turn of our lower body, specifically this hip. So here we go. We're going to move that knee into the other knee and open it up. So I'm keeping my toes on the floor. I'm not requiring any balance or any strength in that leg. I'm purely looking for mobility. So moving that hip through as big a range of motion as works for you. And that motion is going to be a functionality, the way your pelvis is built, as well as the length of your ligaments, your tendons, and your muscles. So it's not only muscles, it is very much as well an anatomy. Some of us have legs that move a long way, others of us don't. We've got one more. And open. Wonderful. Let's do the same the other side. So coming tall, keeping these hips absolutely still, we rotate through the hip socket. So the pelvis itself keeps pointing that way. We're going to do another 5. And 4. 3. 2. And 1. Brilliant. Here, we're going to add on, so still thinking about working through the hips. Hands either on hip joints or just outside, really doesn't matter, we're going to lift up. Go. And open out. So we're going to squeeze in. From here, we've moved up, we've moved down, we've done all sorts of things with our lower leg. Today, we're going to move this knee in space. I'm going to draw some very small circles, 3 clockwise and 3 anti-clockwise. So imagine I'm trying to draw circles on that wall with my knee. Here we go, small circle. small circle, small circle. So 3 one way and 3 the other. Don't worry if you lose balance. It is partly designed to check the balance. When you have done 3 circles either way, pause. And now return to that forward and back movement and down with control. Fantastic. Then shake off. If your hip flexor is screaming like mine, have a quick shake. Other side. So here we go. So lifting that knee up, coming tall. Do not move. Keep that lovely line in the supporting part of the body. Squeeze the lifted leg out to the side. 3 circles clockwise with that knee. Total control as your body weight is changing. And now back the other way. 1 and 3. Move to the front and down with that control. You were fantastic. Thank you. That was brilliant. Shake off. Okay. We are moving the legs a little bit wider now. So what we're going to do is come tall. We're going to do 4 plie squats. So the feet are coming slightly wider. In a plie squat, our hips do not move to the back. We imagine sliding our back down a brick wall. Place the hands on the thighs. We remain upright as we keep the feet on the floor and just bend and lower. And hold at the bottom. Hold here. And now squeeze into the inner thigh to come up. 3 more. We're going to add on the last one. So keep those knees open. The trick to these are feet flat on the floor. Back, imagine it's against a wall. Squeeze into the inner thighs, come up. I'm deliberately keeping us down the bottom. If you find your knees are coming in, don't go so low. It is a tendency, and I'm just going to demonstrate it, that your knees are like that. Feet are not flat on the floor. Feet flat on the floor, come tall. Don't go so low in that squat. Squeeze into the inner thighs, come up. Last one, off we go, down. Hold here. Now in this position, if you want to, just rock gently left and right. If this is horrible for you, if it's doing horrible things to your knees, please stand up and do this a little bit higher. It is supposed to be opening up through the front and back of the hips. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Return to the center, squeeze into the inner thighs to come back up. Wonderful. We do not have the luxury of coming in because we are staying wide to do lateral lunges. Now this is where the hips are going out to the back. My feet are now at 45-ish degrees, so it is a different movement, just a standard lunge as it were. We're going to see if we can get a bit lower. If your body doesn't want to go lower, don't go lower. But if you do want to, just start to raise the opposite toes as we come down into a little bit more of a Cossack move. We're doing 4 and 3 and 2. Now on this one, we're going to stay down in this position, whichever level, hands on the floor. Rotate that outer hand up to the ceiling, twist through that body. Return the hand to the floor, staying low. Walk the hands across to the other leg and rotate that outer hand up towards the ceiling. Hands down, walk across again. We're going to do the same once more either side. Rotate and down. Final time, walk across, rotate that outer arm and down. Staying low, walk the hands to the middle. Walk the feet in so they're around hip width apart. And now Pilates roll up, pushing into the soles of the feet as we raise ourselves up and restack our back through the lower back, middle back, the upper back, shoulders, neck, and finally head. Wonderful. Okay. Just to finish off, just to relax the body, keep, the shoulders are going to move, the hips are going to be fixed. Just twist through the waist initially. So twisting through, keeping those hips pointing to the front. In about 3 moves, we're going to release the hips. Here we go. So release the hips, lift the rear heel, and just let that back relax. Let the arms relax too. So we're letting the muscles in the torso and through the core. Just have a little relaxing moment. For 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Our little strength move or challenge while we're standing for today is a single leg deadlift, and we are going to move the supporting leg. So a quick demo in quick time, then I'll talk us through it. So we're going to come into a single leg deadlift. I hope I managed to do this. Holding ourselves in that position, and we're going to bend and slightly straighten. We never lock out that supporting leg, but bend and straighten. So we're going to do 5 bends in that position for each leg. If you fall over, don't worry, I probably will. Reset. So here we go, thinking about a single leg deadlift. This leg that is a supporting leg never locks out. The knee is always soft. I have an axle through my hips. So as I hinge forward in the body, my leg comes up at the same speed. Ideally, my hip bones are pointing directly to the floor. Hold and get used to that position. Once you are happy with it, stretch the foot away from the crown of the head. We are now in position. In your own time, do 5 knee bends. So holding that deadlift position, come up. Keep that foot flat on the floor. We're not going too far. I'm on my 4th and 5. When you have done 5, regain your balance in the upper position and then slowly hinge through that glute to come back up to standing. Fantastic. I'm afraid I couldn't look. So it was probably very good, but if I look, I've fallen over. So let's do, I'm just changing direction, let's do the same the other leg. So remember, don't lock out that supporting leg as we come forwards into that single leg deadlift. Stretch the crown of the head away from the soles of the feet, and off you go once you've got that position. Keep breathing. I'm on my 4th, 1 more to go. Once you've done the 5, regain that position, hold for a moment, and now hinge and lever back up to standing. Well done. Fantastic. We're down on the mat now. We're going to start off kneeling up for some lateral moves. Let's have a look. Where are we? There we go. Might need to move myself up just a little. There we go. Okay, yeah, just about see me. So we're starting kneeling up. We haven't done this one for a little while. This is all very much about the sides of the body. We're not going to dwell on it, but come up tall, engage the core. This leg is going to come out the side, or yes, coordinate if you're with partners, I'm afraid. My foot is on the floor, pointing to the front. We are going to move away from this extended leg, so all movements are going to be away from that extended leg. Seat the shoulders down, engage the core, tap one hand down, look upwards to the upper hand. Now use that waist to bring us back up again, twice more. shoulder down. We move the body as one unit. If you were on the stick class this morning, very similar to that. And down. And up. Let us add on. So we are going to reach across and really reach. I'm going straight for the big one here. Hold, stretch away. Hold, 3, 2, and up. Just once more. This hand comes across and reaches. Make that arrow formation. So my fingers, my elbows, my shoulders, my hip, my knee, my ankle in a line. 2, 1, and up. And breathe. Lean this way again. Hand on the floor solidly this time. Hand on your hip. Make sure the hips are stacked as we lift this extended leg up. Engage the core so that we are now going to move this leg and keep that pelvis absolutely still. Off we go. Kick forward and kick back. So hand on your hip bones. Try to make sure that you are not moving. Doesn't matter how high your leg is off the floor. This is all about core stability. 3 and 2 and last one coming up. 1. Fantastic. Hold here. Foot down. And we return to our start position. Let's do exactly the same the other side. So other foot comes out the side. My heel is approximately level to my knee. Hands out the side. Off we go. Tipping away. Look at that top arm. Engage the core. Come back up. 2 more. Tap down. Engage. And up. Keeping a solid shoulders stabilized and solid. Up. Use that core to bring us up. From here, this hand is going to move as I bring it overhead and I reach and I breathe and I hold this position for 4, for 3, for 2 and for 1 and we come back up. Get those shoulders seated and we go one more time. Off we go. Reach and stretch and lengthen away and hold for 5, 4, 3, breathe, 2, 1, and up we come. Fantastic. Leaning down this side, putting the hand on the floor. The upper hand on the hip as we raise our extended leg. Engage the core. Pelvis absolutely stable as we kick forward and back. Doesn't matter whether your foot is just off the floor or whether it's horizontal. Hip height doesn't matter. Just keep that pelvis still. Don't arch the back. We're doing 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Lovely. Wonderful work. Coming back up. I've now totally forgotten my little crib sheet here. Right. We are coming down and we're on 4-point kneeling. Off we go. This one. Hopefully you can see me. There we go. So the first one, very much a core stability exercise. We did it last week. We're going to add on. First of all, we are going to get ourselves set up in 4-point kneeling position. So wrists, elbows, shoulders in a line, knee and hips in a line. As long a distance as you can between coccyx and crown of head, core is engaged. Hips are not right up in the air, nor are they tucked under. The back and the spine is long. Once we're happy we're in the right position, we are going to take left arm, right leg, engage the core, and we're going to slide left arm, right leg along the mat. From the shoulder and from the hip, we're going to lift up and stretch away. Mentally check your position. Are your hip bones pointing down and have you arched your lower back? Rectify either or both if anything has happened. From here we're going to rotate to 45 degrees out to the side. So really stretch long in this position. Stretch, stretch, stretch as far as you can. Don't let that back move. From this position, we're going to draw the knee to the elbow under the body. Arch the back slightly. Stretch out to 45 degrees and stretch long. One more time, knee comes to elbow. In we come. Stretch out. Final stretch, and now rotate to the front and back as we started. Tap down on the mat and slide back into position. Simple as that. Fantastic work. Let's do the same with left arm, right leg. So engage the core first of all. Left arm, right leg, slide along the mat. From the shoulder and from the hip, lift and lengthen and stretch. Looking slightly ahead of us, so we are elongating the body, elongating the arm and leg. When you're happy with your position, rotate the arm and leg to 45 degrees away from the body. Wonderful. Hold here and lengthen. Now draw the elbow to the knee under the body. Tuck that chin down slightly. We arch the back and extend back out to that 45-degree position. Stretch away. And now again, knee comes to elbow. Tap here. And stretch and lengthen at the 45-degree position. Hold here. And now retain or rotate to the front and back. Tap down. And hands back to that start position. Well done. Great move. We are now going to do a little bit of an exercise for the whole body. We've been doing it on and off for the last few weeks. It is that one where, just to give you a quick demo, we engage the core. We do knee to elbow, come out the back, press up so that my leg is opposite my body, and we do 5 times each side. I'll start talking us through the first one, then the other 4 will be in our own time. I'm at a slight angle so you can see my body from a different position. So, set up in 4-point kneeling. Once you are here, the right leg stretches out behind, just along the mat. Lift it up now to hip height. From this position, draw the right knee to the outside of the right elbow. Don't move the front of the body. Extend the leg back again, so put it back where it was. Stretch long. Now we're going to do a press up in the front of the body. Keep that spine long because my leg is going to mirror my body. Body comes down, leg comes up. And now push up. Keep that leg long. And we do 4 more in our own time. So knee to elbow and then a press up. Always lengthen. Keep that core engaged. Looking good. Keep breathing throughout, thinking about using that leg to mirror the body. Last one. When you have done the 5, return to 4-point kneeling and reset. Wonderful. Let's do the same the other side. We'll work through the first one, then 4 in your own time, or as many as you want to do. So, engage the core. Shoulders are seated naturally. Left leg extends along the mat and then lifts up behind from the hip. Make sure your position is good. Left knee now comes and taps to the outside of the left elbow. Extend backwards. So back to that starting position. Now press up. As we press up, the leg or body goes down, leg comes up. Push in so we come back up to horizontal. That is 1. Another 4 in your own time. Focusing on that front of the body, not rotating, especially when you bring the knee up to the elbow. Core engaged and active the whole time. positive movements, definite movements, with control and precision. When you have done the 5, return to 4-point kneeling. Wonderful. Quick shake of the lower back. Just a quick wiggle, just to get things moving. We've got one more thing to do on all 4s, so if you need to, just have a quick quick flip of the wrists to make sure they're okay. Fantastic. We might actually be able to do this one on our forearms. I think that will save the wrists. So we're in a 4-point kneeling position, but on our forearms, so we're not reliant on our wrists. We are going to do a donkey kick and a fire hydrant. So a quick demo, if you can't remember what we're doing, we're going to keep the leg at right angles. We're going to engage the core. We're going to do one donkey kick, i.e. lifting up from the hip. We're going to drop the knee down and lift out to the side in a fire hydrant. Both moves of which only go as far as you can keep your hip bones pointing to the floor. Please don't arch your lower back. 5 on either side, so up and out counts as 1. So here we go, engage that core, shoulders back. Start off with the right leg, so keep that right angle and just squeeze up through the hip. Drop that knee down to the side, keeping that spine neutral, lift out to the right and down. That is 1. Another 4 in your own time. The thing to focus about as we move our legs side to side and up and down is keeping the spine neutral, so don't let that lower back arch, but do move through the maximum range of motion you can do with your pelvis. Squeeze and challenge. When you have done the 5th one, just put those legs down and just pause for a moment. Fantastic. Legs down, just have a quick wiggle to reset, because we're going to do 5 the other side. So here we go, long in the spine, shoulders back and stabilized. Left leg lifts up to the ceiling, squeeze. Front of the body totally symmetrical, but not leaning. Knee towards the mat and out to the side in a fire hydrant, squeeze. Off we go for another 4. Body still, keep the front of the body symmetrical, core engaged, and we are breathing throughout, not holding the breath. When you have done those 4 or 5 in total, reset back. Wonderful, great work. We are coming to a V-sit position. For rollbacks, we haven't done rollbacks in a while. I'm just going to change my mat so I am slightly at an angle. There you go. Wonderful. Okay. So we are going to sit up tall in a V-sit position. And then we have a series of rollbacks. I'll very quickly demo what we're going to do, then we'll work through them. So we're going to roll back. We'll start off with a couple of normal rollbacks. Then we will cross arms. Then we will lift a leg in the air. Then we'll lift the other leg in the air. Then, if we feel like it, we'll lift both legs in the air. See how we go. But there's going to be quite a few of these. We're just going to carry on. So expect there to be somewhere 15 to 20 at least. So engage the core, be prepared, and at any level, just stop at the previous level. And if you don't like it, put your hands down and just work with the hands down, or relax. Okay, so what we're going to do, coming up tall, my feet are on the floor, hip width apart, knees are hip width apart. I am sitting on my sit bones tall. I'm now going to tuck my pelvis under, so I'm going to round my back in my roll up, roll down position. Instead of having the hands out here, I'd like us to have the palms upwards. So my core is now engaged, my palms are upwards, but my shoulders are seated nicely on the mat. Tilting the pelvis still towards me. Let's roll down to about 2/3 of the way down. Don't touch the mat, but get to a point where you think you might be able to get back up again. Engage that core and begin moving with the shoulders as we roll back up and come tall. Always finish by coming tall, straightening the spine. Now we go again. Tuck the pelvis, roll down. Keep those arms relaxed and shoulders down. And up. Core is engaged. One more of just the plane. And up. These are not easy, just doing the basic version. If you want to add on, cross the arms over the shoulders, so now we have more weight on the upper body. Tuck the pelvis, roll down, and pull up and come tall. Tuck and roll. So we're just going to keep going. You may feel a little bit of shaking. Don't go quite as far. Always have a pause, have a break, come back and join us. And that's 3. Now I'm going to lift my left leg slightly in the air. It's not a full tabletop, it's just broadly there. Let's do another 3 with this leg in the air. Try not to twist that body, so keep the core pointing to the front and the hips pointing to the front. All with control, slowly and controlled. When we've done 3 this leg, you guessed it, 3 this leg. Here we go, down. You might need to straighten that leg slightly as we come out and bend it as we come up. As long as it doesn't touch the floor, absolutely fine. No twisting for this one. And last one, keep those hips, pelvis rotated. If you're feeling it in the lower back, just quick pause. If you're feeling it in the lower back, it is likely that your pelvis isn't quite rotated enough. So re-rotate. Left leg comes up again, because this time we're going to go down, and as we come back up, we're going to do the right elbow to the left knee. So we're going to do 3 roll backs and twist ups with control. And now swap legs. So right leg in the air, we roll down straight, and as we come back up, left elbow taps to the outside of left right knee. Keep that core engaged. Keep that pelvis tucked. Should be feeling it in many places. The lower back should not be the main place you feel it. Last one, if you want to, and hands can be anywhere for this. Both legs out as we roll up. Roll down, roll up. We're doing 6. We've got 4 more to do. With control. 3. And 2. And last one coming up. Engage that core to pull us up. Hold here. Hold for 3, for 2. Tuck that pelvis in for 1. And relax. Well done. Move the legs. Just relax the hip flexors. Fantastic work. Lovely control. We are now coming to lay on our backs. A little bit of respite. If you would like to, if you are feeling it in your lower back, please feel free just to bring the knees up, hug behind the knees and stretch that lower back out. So if you have felt it just a little bit there. Rock left and right as well. Brilliant. Okay, so we're now returning to stability and hip circles. I'm conscious of the time, so we are not going to do loads of repetitions, but we are going to do 3 types of hip circle either side. Keeping your left leg exactly where it is, raise the right knee up. A kind of tabletop again, but not exactly. This knee is going to draw 2 circles clockwise, 2 anti-clockwise on the ceiling, but the hip bones and the torso, the core, are not going to move. Hands out the side. So small circles with this right knee, go. So just move a smaller circle, not diddy circles, but a smaller circle as you need to keep that core absolutely still. 2 circles one way and 2 the other. So the pelvis is still, the core is still, and the lower back is not moving. Wonderful. So this was the shorter lever version. If you would like to extend the leg, let's do the same longer lever. So again, not moving that core at all. 2 circles clockwise, 2 anti-clockwise. But only move that leg as far as you can keep that core absolutely stable. Looking good. Let's go the other way. Wonderful. Now last one, everything we've done goes out the window. Stretch that supporting leg long. We are going to do 2 circles either way, the biggest circles that we possibly can. So off we go. We're going to lean right across, let that pelvis move as we draw those circles long, as big as we possibly can. Just please try not to arch the back. So make them as big as work for you. All about the hips. 2 one way, 2 the other way. Lovely. Wonderful. Knee down. Both knees return to this rest position. We're going to do exactly the same now with the other side. So hands out the side. Left knee comes in the air. Engage the core as we do those 2 small circles with the knees. So drawing 2 circles clockwise, 2 anti-clockwise. Hips, core, back, do not move. Engaging that core all the way through. So this is led by the knee initially. Wonderful. When you have done those 2 circles with the knee, if you would like to, extend the leg. 2 more circles either way this time with the extended leg, with the foot. So please keep those hip bones pointing upwards. Keep that lower back neutral. And breathe. Finally, straighten that right leg. 2 as big circles as you can. Off you go. 2 clockwise, 2 anti-clockwise. Really, really, really big. Circling through. And the other way. 1. And 2. Legs down. Wonderful. Return both legs to this rest position. We are going to come immediately into a bridge, but it's a mobilization bridge. So hands down by the sides of the body, resting on the mat. Spine is long. Tilt the pelvis towards you. So tip towards you, fill in that gap under your lower back, and raise just a little bit off the ground and drop back down and come back to neutral. We're going to use 8 rolls to get ourselves up to a full bridge, peeling the backbone and spine off the mat and laying it back down again, always returning to neutral. Every time we move, we lift 1 more vertebrae off the mat. Really focus on using that core and the core muscles to generate that movement in the spine. 4 more rolls to go, gradually getting bigger each time. Peel off and lay back down, vertebra on vertebra on vertebra. We have 2 more. Keep getting larger. We will stop at the top, so more. And now 1 final roll up, peeling that backbone off the mat. We're going to stop in a bridge position. So once we are up here, we have our hip bones pointing to the ceiling. Take our arms and just cross them over our shoulders, so we now don't have the hip bones for support. And just lift one right hip up to the ceiling and then the left hip up to the ceiling. We're basically doing a swaying motion, releasing and mobilizing that lower back. Keep the feet flat on the floor. Our body weight is between the shoulder blades. Swinging and mobilizing that back for another 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Lovely. Return to the center. Hands down on the mat, and for the final time just lay that back down, vertebra on vertebra, and return to that neutral position. Fantastic. We're going to roll onto our side. 3 side exercises either side. First 2 are laying long. So we are looking for our back to be parallel to the back of the mat and our feet slightly visible, using the upper arm as a pillow and our hips are stacked. Wonderful. So the first one is with a little support, where you can choose whether you want support or not. I have support, I would suggest. Lift this top leg up. We are going to lift this bottom leg up to the top leg. So the top leg remains at hip height. Small support out the front, engage the core. Squeeze that bottom leg up to meet that top leg, squeeze them together and down with control. We have another 5. Squeeze up and down, light touch with a supporting hand. Squeezing knees together and down. Squeeze and down, and last one, squeezing up through that inner thigh and down. Now just increasing the level of difficulty, keep this leg here. We are going to reach arms overhead. Now if you don't want to do this, please just keep supporting here. Reach arms overhead. We're now very unstable. Lift both legs now off the floor. I've got both legs raised and stretch long. Hold this position, hips are stacked. Keeping this lower leg exactly where it is. Draw 3 small circles clockwise and anti-clockwise with that top leg. Off you go. From the hip, moving, drawing that circle with the foot. 3 one way and 3 small circles the other way. When you've done that, final extension and down with control. Wonderful. Hopefully you felt that in the hips. Coming up now, on to our forearm for the final exercise of this side. Open up one more time with stacked hips. We're going to do 6 hip raises. So allow this shoulder away from ear, push into this lower leg and up we come. Open and down with control. Up with intent, down with control. Halfway with that one. Lowering on down, feel it the outside of both legs. 4 and 5 and 6. Wonderful. Let's swap sides, do exactly the same. Excellent. So laying down, laying long, my back is parallel to the mat, my feet are visible. Using my upper arm as a pillow, hand is out the front for support. I'm going to raise the top leg to hip height, stretch it away, activate the inner thigh of the lower leg, and off we go. Squeeze together, squeeze, hold, and down. Relax the head and neck as we squeeze, hold, down with control. Squeeze up, knees together, hold, down. 3 more, squeeze, hold, down. Core engage, squeeze, hold, down. And final one, squeeze, hold, and down. Relax the legs just for a moment. If you would like to, bring both arms overhead. Unstable position, beware, so keep those hips stacked, core engaged. Upper leg comes to just above hip height, lower leg comes off the floor as well. Extend them all the way, so we are laying and extending. Core is engaged. Small circles with that upper leg. Draw 3 clockwise and 3 anti-clockwise, keeping our balance. And 2 and 3. Final stretch away, arms and legs. And now relax down. Wonderful. Onto forearms, bend the legs. And off we go, pushing in, up, squeeze, and down with control. So working into the outer thighs of both legs. Up, squeeze, down, control that downward movement. Up, squeeze, keep that spine neutral. Up, squeeze, and down, and the final one. Up, squeeze, and down we come. And relax, let's go onto our backs and stretch off. I got a bit carried away again, as I often do. Arms out to the side, spine long, head and shoulders relaxed, drop the knees to one side. Just twist through the lower back and the pelvis. And now let's drop the other way. Bring the knees up to the ceiling, stretch one leg long, and let's do a hamstring stretch. So stretching through here. Hold behind the knee, behind the thigh, just hold. And as you feel the stretch reflex subsiding in the back of your thigh, just walk that leg a little bit closer. Hold. Let's do the same the other side. So stretching into that hamstring. Whatever works for you, just hold here. Feel that stretch back of the thigh. And pick up the slack in that stretch if you need to for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Last stretch we're going to do is just bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall out the sides. So what tends to happen here is that our lower back arches off the mat. Just push that lower back down to keep that spine neutral and gently pulsing. Opening up through the hips and thighs, letting them relax. There's no effort, we're not forcing a movement. Just gently moving here. 4 and 3, 2, 1. And here gradually bring the knees up towards the body, hug behind the thighs for a final time and a final lower back stretch. Here we go, stretching off. Once you've got that stretch with hips off the floor, if you want to, just rocking